Hey everybody, this is Pastor Dustin recording for TeamNerdChurch.com, and I decided to do something just a little bit different this week. Instead of recording a traditional Moto video, I thought that I would try a cockatrice video. And the reason for this is that I am trying to get serious about the regional Pro Tour qualifier that's coming up. And if I want to do that, it means that I need to be playing a lot of standard and not a lot of limited. And I've traditionally done limited because it is cheaper, and I didn't want to shell out all the money for digital cards. So I thought, hey, here the digital cards are cheap as free, so I'll play with those. So I'm going to try recording videos like this for a little while, and I'm just going to try to put up, like, maybe even like be as ambitious as a video a day, but they'll just be short little videos. It'll be like one match, and that way you guys can see what's going on with it, and we can start to work on it together as a digital team. And it doesn't have to be one of those things where, you get really invested and you have to sit down and watch like a 3-hour video and then you stop watching and you're like, what did I do with my life? But instead, you can just be like, oh, I'll watch this little 5-10 minute video and put a comment in the comment section, and then we'll move on with our lives. And I will get things done today. So that's my hope for this. We'll see how it goes. The deck that I am playing right now, as you could probably tell, is kind of like a Boss Sly variant. It's a little bit heavier than Boss Sly. If you don't count Convoke spells, then the highest thing in the deck is a 3 as opposed to a 2. And I do this for these two cards that you see here, the Prophetic Flame Speaker and the Goblin Rabblemaster, because they are serious magic cards. And I try to use Breakthrough Line, and in order to get those guys out there. Alright, so he picked up a Temple of Deceit, getting Cut, Blight, and Kiora into the yard. Okay, that's fine. So, let's see, I think I lost where I was. I try to use those higher level cards to up the power level just a little bit. Okay, we'll go to combat, make ourselves a goblin. It's red. Power and toughness is 1, and another 1. There we go, and we will attack with the team. So anyway, alright, so he blocks there. Nice. I probably should not attack with my Rabblemaster. There we go. Okay. Anyway, I try to use Breakthrough the Line, and if you're not familiar with it, it's because nobody uses it. It's an enchantment that costs a colorless and a red, and you can pay red to make target creature with power 2 or less have haste and be unblockable, which is pretty good pre-combat with the Rabblemaster or the Flame Speaker, especially considering that I have things that can pump these reasonably, and so you can make it unblockable, and then, put a Dragon Mantle on it and pump it into Oblivion, and then it's pretty good. I don't have that right now, but I do have this Dragon Mantle, which I can even put over here on a Goblin, because it triggers this. It gives that a little bit more devotion, and it makes him have to target a Goblin to kill as opposed to these other things that actually matter. So, I'm going to try this Dragon Mantle, diversify my options, and then I will have, let's see, this pumps this to a 2, and then this makes it a 3, 4, 5. Draw arrow to the stupid little Goblin. So we'll attach it over there. Let's see. Attach. There we go. And then we'll go to combat. Okay, so he will take out the Rabblemaster, which is fine. This goes up. So he's at 13, so I could push through if I wanted to pump all of it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage, which is probably just worth it. So I'm not even going to play the Flame Speaker. I'm just going to pump everything into this Goblin. So that's a 4-1. And this is a 1, 2, 3. This is a 5-3. So power and toughness makes that into a 5-3. So one of the things that I'm trying to do with this deck is make it so I don't get that overextends, go into main board, drown in sorrow, and then just die because I have nothing. Because right now I'm whacking this dude for 9, which is a pretty big deal. So after he takes 9, he's going to be all the way down to 4, and then I can play an Eidolon out. And whatever he uses to kill the Eidolon, there's a reasonable chance that it's going to be something that costs 3 or less, so he's going to get those 2 damage through anyway. And then I'm going to play a Flame Speaker. Yeah, so he's already gone. So there's an example of like your big deck that has all the tap lands and is a little bit slow getting to things. Right now, I'm not that sure on my sideboard, and I have taken some caffeine in the form of coffee and also some Mucinex in the form of a lot of stimulants. And with my brain chemistry, all of those stimulants actually act as a depressant. So I am high on Mucinex and coffee right now, or low on them, whatever floats your boat. So I'm not thinking real straight is what it comes down to. So I'm not even going to board. I am just going to give it a shuffle, draw my 7, and see how my non-boarded deck does against his legitimate deck. And I will keep this. One of the other nice things about this variant of Boss Lie is that you have hands that have like 4 or 5 land that are actually not that bad and keepable. And so it mulligans less. I'm running 21 land in it, which is enough to hit 3 pretty consistently. Here we go. Get myself a nice first turn and then pass it. And once you hit 3, you can play everything in the deck. And once you hit 4, you can start using your breakthrough line to play everything in the deck with haste. And so 4 mana is not that big of a deal, whereas traditionally it would be. Here's not going to be great, because I am going to run the Satyr into this Wayfinder. Wayfinder's hard to do things about, which is unfortunate, because, you know, they draw the card that they want, they fill up their graveyard, you take 2 damage, you lose your threat. It's not really where you want to be, is what I'm trying to say. But you can't do much about it. Okay. So, reasonably here, I could attack into it, but that's not really where I want to be. So I'm actually going to hold my Fire Drinker and just play a breakthrough line. And that's where I'm going to end my turn. Next turn, probably 3rd land into Rabble Master, and then 4th land into, I guess just make everybody unblockable and swing at that point. And that's the nice thing too, is if you flood, there are a reasonable amount of places to put that mana, which is especially good when you have an Eidolon, because the Eidolon sometimes gets you into a position where you don't really want to be doing anything. You know, you just want to sit back and not play any spells, which is usually not where decks want to be. But with this one, you can get under it by pumping through Dragon Mantle, which you've got 2 copies of. You can pump through the Fire Drinker. You can just make a whole bunch of stuff unblockable with the breakthrough. And so it's got some early game and it's got some late game. He appears to be breaking something, probably going to downfall the Rabble Master. Yeah, we seen a downfall. But anyway, so that's the deck, and I am trying to learn it now because Boss Sly is basically Boss Sly. There we go. So he kills that, and then it's my turn. I'm trying to come up with some sort of deck that's not going to change that much with rotation, because I get about a month after the new set comes in to when I go to regionals, so I want to have some deck that I basically know already. And there might be some tweaks, and of course there's going to be changes in the metagame, but I can't do anything about that. But I can get an advantage in knowing my deck pretty well. Thunder Smite gives +3/+0, which is nice. So he's got 5 cards in hand, so I don't really want to put all my eggs in one basket yet. But I'm not sure that I have a choice. The first thing that I can do in this situation is I might get blown out here. I am going to play Dragon Mantle on the Satyr. Yeah, so then he'll kill the Satyr, right? Yeah, it's one of those things. No? Yes? Maybe? Bioblight? Hey, okay. Where I wanted to get the Thunder Smite on it, but you can bait it out with the Dragon's Mantle, which is not really where you want to be, but it's better than starting with the Might. So this is the kind of game which I'm probably not going to win. You know, he's got 5 lands, he's starting to develop all of his stuff, but it's not unwinnable, like a lot of matchups would be if you were playing Boss Lie. So I don't have any gas, but I do have a couple of breakthrough lines, which means that any of my 20 creatures that I draw, if it survives, is basically like a burn spell off the top, because I can and will give it haste, and so it'll get through and get him. So if he's going to drown and sorrow me or something like that, it's actually okay, because it did a little bit of work. Okay, so yeah, here's a good example. I got my Swift Spear, and you know, if he kills it, he kills it. I don't think that I really have a choice in this particular situation. So I will make it unblockable. Actually, I don't need to make it unblockable because I'm only going to play one spell. So to make it a 2/3. Yeah, he's going to kill it. Yep, Saltai Charmed. Yep, double blowout. That's okay. Probably not going to win, but we'll see what we can do. One of the things that's nice about the Thunder Smite is that it doesn't trigger until you attack. And so that enchantment just sits on there, essentially giving it a lot of power, but you are still able to break through the line before you attack with it. Alright, we're starting to see the manas. What's he going to get me on? Alright, Tassiger, is that what's coming out to play? Tassiger's pretty strong. It's moving everybody over. Dig through time. Yeah. The nail's probably in the coffin. Alright, so now that we see that he's probably going to win this, what do we want to sideboard? He's got the traditional Bile Blight, Drown in Sorrow to kill my creatures. He's got Saltai Charm, which is awfully good against me. Murderous Cut. Yeah, he's got just a lot of creature kill. So I think what I want to do is think about ways to kill him that don't involve just the creatures. Oh, he's got the big dragon. Yeah, I'm probably dead. So I just recently have put in one mainboard copy of, yeah, there's no point in making you guys suffer through this. I'm going to concede this and move on to the next game. One mainboard copy of Hammer of Perforos and a sideboard copy of it. So maybe I need another one, but this can help me to survive all of his stuff by just continually making my mountains into dudes. Let's see, Peak Eruption's no good. Scouring Sands isn't really where I want to be. Harnessed by Force isn't bad. Might play one of those. And this stuff is really pretty much just garbage. So I think in this situation I want to take out some of... Well, no, I've really got to blitzkrieg him through. So I think the Thunder Smite is actually pretty good. I want to take out the Lightning Strikes because it's not going to kill anything that's that important. And it's not enough damage to go to his head. So we're going to try it like that. I pretty obviously need more for this control matchup, and there's a lot of that running around. I think maybe a Planeswalker could do it. In addition to the enchantment, one land, huh? Well, I've got 2 1-drops. If I get a second land, I get the Thunder Smite. So I think I'll keep this. This could be a sketchy keep, but we will see. There we go. So anyway, the enchantment that lets you use the 0 ability of Chandra could also go in there. So I'm still going to mess with the sideboard. So if you guys have any sideboard ideas, it would be very welcomed. Unfortunately, I did not get my Miser land. So I am just going to sit on my 2 Satyrs and hope that he does not have a Bile Blight to ruin my day. Second land goes into a Thunder Smite. And the third one, I suppose, is probably a Rabblemaster. Okay, so I get my 4 damage through, and then he probably wipes me. Yeah, that's not what I was looking for at all. So get him with that, and pass the turn over. Probably should have mulliganed. That was probably the responsible choice. But that's the sort of thing, like, I'm not a great mulliganer, but if I can play this deck for a month or so, yep, there comes the drown. Maybe I'll learn how to mulligan, and then rotation will happen and not that much changes. Okay, so that second land is obviously necessary, but not quite as good as it was before. because I don't have a creature to play it on. Now I do. I have that satyr again. So there you go. It's kind of funny. The satyr shaman is attacking Diablo, and this looks very much like a devil. Kiora bubbling my guy. Oh no. Alright. Well, kinda useless there. Yeah, I'm pretty well dead. Now that I think about it, the lightning strikes are actually good against Kioras. So maybe I wanna keep those in this particular matchup. What do we got? Yeah. That's my 8th card. I'm gonna start discarding stuff. There's no way I come back from this. Anyway, so that was my first video. Let me know what you guys think about this video format, about the deck, about life in general. Stay tuned after this. I will put up last week's service. If I'm doing these as a daily thing, I'm probably not always going to put a service up after them just because I only do one service a week. But it was good recording this, and I hope to see you guys later. This has been Pastor Dustin recording for TeamNerdChurch.com.